Tim, you're actually telling people like just even hold off until their playlist is done. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if that's good advice or not, but that's
Yeah,
what I
yeah.
tell people just because you get a little bit more ready. You get to go into the automations and tweak them, and you know exactly what your prospects are getting and tweak them for your personality. You know, you need to add your new construction listings from your MLS. I mean, there's like three things you need to tweak, and I just did all my videos first and then I turned everything on. So it all worked, you know, out of the gate like I wanted it to. And I still had to tweak a few things, but it was pretty easy that way. I did $10 a day to start. I went about 6 weeks because I wanted my ladies that were eating out of that funnel to really understand attract
Hmm.
ROI. I bumped it up to $20 and I think I'm at about $30 now. And we've actually got 12 in the working hots. I just checked it this morning. It was only 8 last week. So, I mean, we've gone up 33% just in a little less than a week, and it's not the season. So, I'm excited
Right,
about
right.
that. And um, I've, I've done it long enough. I know that, you know, you can count on, you know, 1% converting, even if you're not all that great. And I just know that I can get 4 extra deals a month with 400 extra leads a month. So that's what I'm shooting to. I'm just upping my spend and until I can get to 400 leads every 30 days, and that should generate 4 closings. You need to go
Videos.
to 12 new construction homes and shoot a video tour just like you were showing it to a buyer. First, you want to make sure they're paying a co-op agent, and secondly, you want to find out all you can find out about whatever incentives they're offering, and you want to make sure that you're on their list to send updates to anytime they make changes. And that will become a living document. And I wouldn't get too specific when you create this document, but one of the things you're going to want to do as a secondary offer in the funnel, and they're set up to do this already, you don't have to do it, but this is one of the feeding the system so it can deliver what you promise in a subsequent ad, and that is the list of builder incentives in the area. But I would do it like Eastern Jefferson County homes ranging between 450 and 700 have incentives ranging from, you know, a 4.99 30% or 30-year fixed, or, you know, buyer discounts if they don't use financing of 34,000. You know, you don't want to tell them the neighborhood, you don't want to tell them the builder and so forth. Just follow your rules of your state on what you have to disclose. But anytime I'm doing a video walkthrough, I will always acknowledge the listing agent or the listing brokerage. I don't necessarily reference the builder. And some builders have their own real estate companies. So in that case, you're kind of telling it, you know, like Elite Homes, it also has Elite Anywhere. The name is both Elite for the brokerage and the real estate company. So kind of gives it away in some hat. But if you provide enough value, people are going to call you. And you want to be honest in your videos. When you see something you don't like, you want to say it. You know, gosh, I really don't like the fact that they did this. And that's going to make you genuine to your viewer, and going to make you not seem like a salesperson, but somebody trying to help your viewers. And then on the homepage, you can go over here and check, choose playlists. And what I just shared with everybody is this full playlist of new construction home tours. So there's 13 videos. Me and Beth and Tara went out and shot in about a half a day. And then I paid Andy to do all the editing. So if you like the editing, you know, he's happy to make a
Okay.
little money on the side. That's it. So this is some of the value we're delivering to the prospects in the funnel. You know, periodically in a message or an email, I'm saying if you haven't checked out our video tours of new home construction recently, click here, and it brings them right to here. And then they start consuming content, and the more consumption, the more they know, like, and trust us. And that's why statistically about 45% of the leads will actually talk to you in the funnel. And some will go away, some will be 12 months out. You know, you're still going to sift through their timing, but that all boils down. And basically, you want to stand in front of a blank wall. It doesn't matter the color, but I would suggest something light, preferably. And then you're literally just doing 1, 2, 3, and you're pointing here, and you're pointing over there, and you're pointing down here, and you're going, you know, just making all kinds of these expressions, and then you have those saved in a folder to put on top of your image, your thumbnail, which is what each video has. That's called a thumbnail, what you see on the screen. If they don't like the thumbnail, they're not going to watch the video. So words in the thumbnail that called the title, they've got to click that before they even get to the first 30 seconds where you want to tell them what the video is about. Anything educational as it pertains to new construction. And I've been working on something for a year now, and I'm embarrassed to even say that, but I've not made it a priority. But I literally shot an entire new construction home from dirt. They dug the hole all the way to final completion, and I've come up using ChatGPT with like 12 phases of new construction, how to build a house. And the shots, some of those were videos, some of those were just still shots, but my plan now, and I want to get about 4 or 5 done, ready to release, so I can get ahead of myself. I've only got 2 right now, but I have 2 done. And part of that, I'm out on the job site talking about what I'm seeing. Part of it, I'm sitting at my office, just talking to them like we are right now about the stages of construction. So things like that, anything where you can educate your viewer is gold, because you become a teacher instead of a salesperson. And you don't want to be salesy on these videos. You want to be educational. You want to teach them what is it like to live in this neighborhood. And when you're shooting your new construction home, don't make it about the house. Make it about the area of town. And in this home that I'm touring today, what you can do around me. Here's the restaurants that are popular. Here's the groceries, the shopping centers, the medical facilities, how close you are to this interstate. What it's like to live here is basically what you want to tell them. And that makes that video you shot about that $500,000 new construction home evergreen, where it's going to last on your channel forever. It's going to be sold in weeks or months. But if you think about what it's like to live in that neighborhood and in that area of town, and make that a big part of what you're talking about, that video is called What's Evergreen. It's going to last forever. So what I first do is I have a strategy call with an agent that we're trying to attract to EXP. And I ask them, what's your average sales price? We plug that in. We ask them what's their average commission is. So that generates this number right here, this $10,625. And then we show them that for every X dollars spent on ads, assuming only a 1.1% conversion to a sale, it's a pretty phenomenal ROI in reality. So let me take this back. Let me just use an even number here. Let's do 300. Michael has said periodically, Michael Reese, who is who we partnered with to be able to provide this to the agents in our level 1 organizations that we're attracting. He says, don't even really complain. He didn't say that word, but don't complain until you get about 300 leads, because I can't tell you that you're going to have one closing every 100, but I can tell you you're going to very likely have 3 by the time you get to 300. Okay. So and that was another reason why I wanted my ladies to get comfortable with the system before I started really increasing the spend. So basically what this is doing, these are facts. These are averages from all the people across the nation that are using these these sales funnels. And this is the new construction data specifically. So you're going to have 300 leads in your system. 165 are never going to communicate with you. They're just going to ghost you out of the gate. That's okay. I'm going to dump them in a long-term nurture. I'm going to put them on my monthly newsletter, and I'm just going to stay in front of them. I don't care. Part of what I'm doing is buying my time back by not focusing on the 165 people that don't want to talk to me anyway. Okay? I focus on these. 135 people have communicated with us either by phone, text, or email, or instant messenger. 135, that's staggering. 45% of the people in the funnel will talk to you. Now, some of them will say, F off. I count those, but they communicated. So some of those will move. Another 12 of those end up D&Ding you. So 45, you're going to determine through conversation out of the 300 are going to go into a 12-month nurture campaign because they're not ready yet. They're looking for next year, late, next December, if you will. So you know how to deal with those people. But 11 people you're going to have appointments with out of these 300. Okay, and if you have 11 appointments, 9 are going to go to a working hot status. They're going to sign a buyer brokerage agreement with you, and you're going to start showing them houses. You're going to put 4 of the 9 under contract, and 3 of them are going to close because not every deal closes. So basically what I'm illustrating is 3 times $10,625 is $35,063 in gross commission income. If our lead cost, and this is another variable that I fill in the blank, you can see as I hover over this, there's a note there. It averages $3 to $9 across the country. So I just went straight in the middle. I mean, we could assume worst case $9. And I tell them my lead cost in Louisville, Kentucky is $5.10. My lead cost in Orange Beach, Alabama is $4.85, right around that $5 range. But let's assume worst case. You know what this is saying is you're going to spend $2,700, 9 times 300 over the year, but you're going to get 35,000 back in return. It's a hell of an ROI. But agents don't get, they got to spend money to make money. They run one ad and they didn't get a sale, so they stopped doing it. This is multiplicity. This is doing consistently the same thing every day. We started at $10 a day. Now we are, I think we're up to 28, maybe $30 a day in my lead count. And that's why I went from 8 in the working hot stage to 12 just since last week, is because I'm increasing the lead count. I'm seeing more and more and more dialogue between my agents and the prospects. The other thing, and these numbers aren't significant enough, but let me bump them just to show you what happens. If we're at 600, which you're going to want to do when you see that for every 2,700 I can make 36,000, you're going to say, well, how do I spend more and double that? So I just did that. 600 leads is $5,400 at $9 each, generating 70,000 in revenue. But there's another 10,000 that's going to come from your YouTube channel organically. Here's how that happens. In the first 30 seconds of the video, and Andy teaches this in the YouTube training program that we sell, but the first 30 seconds in the video, you want to tell the consumer what it's about. That's when they decide, am I going to stay and watch it or not? But what's also happening behind the scenes is the first 30 seconds, you're telling YouTube what it's about. So let's say we've sent these 600 people from our funnels to that YouTube playlist that I shared with you all in the chat. Those 600 people are looked at by YouTube, and YouTube figures out the demographic of those viewers. And they say, okay, obviously viewers like this. They're staying and watching at least 60% of the video or whatever the math is. Then YouTube puts those videos in front of people that are not in my CRM. They're not in my Go High Level. They're not in my sales funnel. Another closing is going to come out of that. And you saw it. It took to get to, it's probably closer to 500. We don't know what the rounding is here. That's part of the, yeah. So really 400 leads would also get me, it'll get me 4 closings from the funnel, but it's also going to get me an additional closing from YouTube that I didn't pay for. And this is fractional. That's why, let me show you what I mean here. See, that's really 0.66 is the math on this. Now I've got the rounding set up to whole numbers, but you're going to get another 66% of a deal off your YouTube channel. Now you can't get 2/3 of a deal, obviously, but you get the point. So my point is, and what I teach people to do is start spending $10 a day until you figure out what the math is in your area, what your cost per lead is. Mine's $510. So for every $2,040, I'm making $53,763. 46,750 is coming from the funnel on these 400 leads, and another deal is coming from the YouTube channel that I didn't spend a nickel on. That's organic growth. So I teach people start at $10, but run a parallel path. Do YouTube and funnel simultaneously, which is the other reason why I recommend people have their 12 videos out of the gate before turning on the cash cow funnel, the new construction funnel. What makes it a cash cow is that combination. You're taking the new construction funnel and the YouTube playlist and you're putting them together. You're maturing these leads faster because they're getting to know, like, and trust you, and that helps these numbers. If you just have 400 leads and they've never seen you, they haven't seen you present a house, they haven't understood your personality, they haven't figured out if they like you or not, it's not going to perform as well. That's the other reason I recommend get your 12 videos done, then turn your ads on. Then you're ready. And you've had a couple days extra to tweak the channel and do some of those little tweaks. So, the end result is, $2,000 a year is going to net you 5 closings a year. Gosh, what if I spent $10,000 a year? Well, do the math. 2 times 5 is 10,000. 5 times 5 is 25. This is how you scale. And this is the problem with realtors over the last 2 years. Any realtor that's complained about business being down, they haven't done something like this. They haven't figured out how to scale their business. So people like me are taking business away from them because I have systems and processes and funnels in place that's doing the heavy lifting for me. And it's all about marketing. It's not the best agent. You've heard this before. It's not the best agent in a market that wins. It's the best marketer in a market that wins. You just got to outmarket the next guy, especially this time of year. Jeff, you made this comment on our call yesterday, I think it was. You got to double, triple down right now.
Totally.
Most of the other agents have taken the rest of the year off because of the holiday season. I've seen it for 23 years in the business. Agents I used to work with in an office environment, I'd see them. They just quit coming to the office. Oh, see you on January 2nd, Tim. What are you doing between? Oh, I'm going to take some time off, just be with family. They're not marketing. No wonder their funnel is empty in January. No wonder they have no pendings in January. They've got to start in January. Then they don't have any pendings until March, April. So, and I do all this, the first thing I talked about this 425 and 250, and we assume an average lead cost. I'll put that back at 6. First thing I do is I ask what their goals are. Oh, your goals are 150 for next year. And I'm going to reverse engineer what they need to do to get there. Okay, so for you to make 150,000, here we're only at 53,000 right now. You're probably going to need about 1,200 leads. Yep, there we're at 160, 140 from the funnel. Now we got 2 deals coming in from YouTube, another 21. There's your 161. I've hit their goal for 2026. What's that mean? That means you got to figure out how to spend $7,200 a year on leads if they're costing you $6 a piece, because you need 1,200 leads to do it. 1,200 leads on a 100-to-1 ratio is 12 transactions. Because of rounding, it's actually 13 here, but you're going to get 2 more from the channel. There's your 15 closings. There's your 150,000 for the year, and you only spent 7,200 over an entire year.
Wow.
You're spending $600 a month. And agents won't start out, nor do I recommend they start out spending $600 a month. Spend $10 a day. That's $300 a month. By the time you get 300 leads, and that's what you've got to figure out. You got to figure out, what's my lead cost on 100 leads? Is it 3, 5, 6, 9? And then you got to just build a little confidence. People believe this when I tell them, but they need to feel it and they need to experience it before they up their spend. And if I took you to my back end, let me do that real quick. If you feel like that's going to be a good ad here, I'll actually show you my go high level.
The thing I want to emphasize is, guys, it's a numbers game, and the numbers are the numbers. And like Michael, we've been doing these funnels now for the last year or so, whatever, different people. But Michael and his group, they've been doing these for 4 or 5 years. They just, these are the numbers, and the numbers don't lie if you just know your numbers. And so, again, you have 2 or 3 closings after 300 leads, and now you up your ad spend. You got a little more money, so you can go to $600 a month, instead of $300 a month. So you go to 20.
You also, Jeff and Tim, when you guys agreed,
go ahead.
As you grow your database, you get 3 months out, 6 months out. Even if you're only spending $10 a day, your ad cost should go down and your closing should go up, just because you're nurturing that database that's growing, right? It should start even going faster if people just stick to it.
That will happen. Yeah.
Absolutely. For example, all those people I put in a 12-month nurture, that's 2027 business that I'm not paying for again. Those are people that are knowing and liking and trusting me because of video consumption and seeing my newsletter monthly and so forth. And just real quick, this is the back end. This is the Hollenden team. This is my team in Louisville. We've got 212 leads. They all came from Facebook and Instagram. It started October 1. With a $10 a day lead spend, and we probably only had 40 leads after the first month. So don't let that number scare you. I had to increase the lead spend to start getting the quantity in. They just weren't coming in fast enough. So and now today, if I switch over here to opportunities in my new construction funnel, you can see there are 8 people in this funnel right now that replied since last night. Okay, this is stuff that came in overnight. There's 19 new leads in the funnel since last night. I say last night, whenever Beth and Tara shut down for the day yesterday. There's 109 that are being manually followed up with, but there's 13 in the working hot. And they're not using these opportunity values yet. It looks like somebody put 12,000 in for one of the GCIs on one of the deals. But we've got 13 buyers that we're working with. And 12 we put in a long-term nurture. That's future business. but we have 13 opportunities going into, the Christmas holidays. That'll probably be 20 next week because I'm continuing to ramp up the lead spend because I don't have 400. Because I don't have 400 leads yet. What did I say? I had 212 or something like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, 212. I need double the leads right now so that we start having 4 closings a month off of the first 400 leads, and then I've got to spend enough money. I mean, my spreadsheet would look like, okay, 4,800 leads a year is what I need to spend in order to get 4 closings a month consistently for the entire year 2026. So I'm just in the mode right now ramping that up because I'm confident they're using the system, they're following up with the leads timely, I'm watching the interactions, and it's just math. You're controlling the system is designed to get them to respond. Okay. When they respond, you have a conversation with them. At that point, you want to move them over to your website or to your MLS system and start sending them listings that meet the criteria you all have agreed to. You've had an appointment either by phone or face to face. You might have met them before the first showing or not. But at that point, you're really doing that. You need to go into the automations section and look at the automation, and it's going to show you what they're getting right over here under automation. Click on automations and go down here and find the new construction funnel. Click on that. And then every stage of the funnel is shown right here. So when somebody replies, what happens? You literally can go in here and click on every button. Customer replied. Add a new trigger. You can just read what goes on here. First thing that happens is it adds a tag. So the tag is added to that prospect, new construction replied. We update the opportunity. This moves them in the stages. When I showed you the new lead and replied, this is what moves them over to replied from new. So you can see that they responded. So you can go in every morning and call all the new leads. You can call everybody that's replied based on where they are in the stages. When you're contacting them, this is everything they're getting. Remember, replied, just the system noticed that they replied.
You want to go in and look through this automation because you want to make it your own. You don't change it completely. The automation works, but you want to go in and customize some things. And here, Tim will show you right here, like that email 1, text 1. This is what happens when a new lead comes in. This is what they get, okay? And you need to see this, understand this. So go ahead, Tim.
Yeah, in my system, it gets assigned to a user. So at round robins, Beth Tara. It adds the tag, new lead. An internal notification goes out to Beth. You have a new lead. This goes to the prospect. It's an email. So here's what it says. It's from Beth because Beth was assigned the lead. If you don't work in a team environment, it's always just going to be from you, from your email. The subject line, new construction properties in, and this is a custom value. Mine says the Louisville, Kentucky area. And that's one of the tweaks I made because when they set up my system, they said, oh, you're in Prospect, Kentucky. So they made this say new construction properties in Prospect. Well, I didn't want it to say Prospect. I wanted it to say the whole Louisville area. Prospect is a sub-city within Louisville. These are the part of the 3 little tweaks I said you need to make, which is why I don't want my ads turned on until I've done this and I have my 12 videos. So then it goes down to here. Hi, Jeff. Thanks for checking out our new construction properties. As promised, this was the promise I made in the ad. Click here for all the new construction properties in the Louisville area. So as promised, here's the direct link to all the properties in the Louisville, Kentucky area, custom value. And then this is the link to it. So those properties are sitting in my Go High level on a link on a landing page to show them every property. I tell them I'll also send you a text message. So that's this right here. We send them the email and the text message as well for your convenience. And then we ask a question. So when I teach this, we run an ad, they click on the ad, we give them value while they're in the funnel. But we also ask questions. And asking the questions is what generates a 45% response that you saw on the spreadsheet. So the question was, by the way, are you interested in any specific area? If so, I can narrow this list down for you. Because right now, this list has 400 new construction homes in my market in it. That's voluminous. That's too much for anybody. So I hit them in the face with it right away. Where are you really looking? This is the whole Louisville area. Where would you really like to live? And we get a lot of responses just right there. When they respond to that, they go into the replied funnel. And now we're having a conversation. I don't need the funnel now that I'm talking to them on a regular basis. And here's the gold. We emailed them, we texted them the same thing. The system waits 1 hour and then it does an email new construction playlist. Jeff, check out all the recent new construction home tours on our YouTube channel. There's the link I just put in the chat 20 minutes ago. So that's when they can start consuming our content. I'm still just trying to get them to reply.
Click on that just so they can see it. Just click there. You could take that whole long YouTube blue link and you could put it right there where it says please input, and then the text to display, he could put right there, Louisville new home tour, something like that. So it just looks cleaner on the email, and they might click that more, maybe more. So you can do that. But this is what they're getting. And this is what's important to go in. And, I did change some of this in mine, when I was setting mine up, because there was the first day, it was almost like it was too much, in my opinion. It was like a text, there was multiple texts and emails over a 6-hour period, and I was seeing people even unsubscribe, pretty quick. It was almost too much. So, and I see you've adjusted yours as well. It's another day now before they get the next one after this. And you can adjust all these. And this goes out, you could take this out for a month if you wanted to, when they reply, and Tim, is yours set up like this? Mine is when they reply, the automation stops. It pauses it. And here's why. Because you asked them, are you interested in homes in any other areas? They replied back, yeah, we'd like to, here's the area we're looking in. It's going to stop it, because if the automation continues, you're going to
have egg on your face.
Yeah, I already, because you're asking them more questions, and you haven't answered my first question. I did say I wanted to do this. It's it will pause the automation on purpose, waiting for you to now take over. Because now you might be setting them up on a home search. You might be meeting them at a house. You might be, they talk to you, you talk to them and they're out 12 months. You want to pause, it's going to pause it, because if they're out 12 months and 6 hours later, they get another email from you saying, hey, you want to go see these? It's what are you doing? No, I told you, we already had this conversation.
So here's an example. They come in as a new lead. As soon as they reply to anything, the system moves them over to replied. So if I'm Beth using this system, I'm going to say, oh, okay, look at all these replies. And it's got Beth's or Tara's picture. They know which one. Actually, they only see their own. So Beth would only show her this Snara, whatever that is, or Elizabeth. So if I click on this, you can see new construction, new lead. That's the tag it had. And now it's new construction replied. Gosh, it's so slow on Zoom. I'm sorry, guys.
It is. It is. It's okay.
And Tim and Jeff, real quick, in regards to, I guess, just customer support for someone like Maria and stuff, do they have several of those now set up for people that are using this for production?
Well, you can go into office hours every day. And I recommend it. First, especially, go to office hours a lot. Just be in there. You're going to learn, even if you don't have a question, if you're working in the background, you could be in there and listening. I learned so much at the beginning just by being in there, but they do that every day, 5 days a week. Specific questions, submit your question, go in there, and you can get your question answered. They take the submitted questions first. So, it's good to do that, whatever. If you have a question, you can just show up, but you'll be in the back of the line, because they're going to take the submitted questions first. And it's funny with your ads, guys, all of a sudden, here's an ad and it's $4 a lead, and next thing you know, it's up to $6 a lead, and then it's $7 a lead. Sometimes just changing the picture of the house, all of a sudden it refreshes your ad, and it brings it back down to $4 a lead. You start getting more leads, little tweaks that you can make along the way, but they will help you with that as well. All those kind of things. You're just going to be, you want to be on it. You're working this thing. Go ahead, Tim.
Here's where you go into daily live office hours. This is every single day of the week, Monday through Friday from 12 to 1 Eastern. Submit your question, click on the button, fill that out. After you click submit, it's going to ask you which day you're going to attend. So I can't do it today at 12 because this meeting doesn't open till 12. I got follow-ups to do, so I'll be there tomorrow. So then they put that question in the queue for the attendees that are there tomorrow, and they're answered first come, first serve. And then this is how you actually get in there. You just click that, and it'll take you right into the office hour meeting.
And they will go longer. If there's, I've seen them go till 2 o'clock Eastern. I mean, they'll stay there till every question's answered. They're really good about that. Go down to settings all the way at the bottom. There you go. Now scroll down, custom values. Yep. Okay. And then, just scroll down in that. Keep going down. It's probably going to be on the next page over.
I should have looked to see what it was called.
Yeah, so new construction properties link. That's probably it right there. Yeah.
There's that short URL you were looking for in the text.
Yeah.
So this is a landing page within my website that shows them all the new construction properties, and there's 336 of them, which is why I immediately asked the question, is there a specific area you're interested in? At that point, they've replied. I'm talking to them. I'm going to go into the website, build them a custom search for exactly what they're looking for, and my website is going to then send them listings every day that something meets their parameters. You could do that with KV Core, Bold Trail,
I did mine
Lofty,
with Bold
whatever
Trail.
CRM you're using.
Yeah. I did a search in Bold Trail, new construction, in the area, whatever, and that's the page that it goes to. Because again, if they click on that, if they click on 2 or 3, it's just, I want them on my page. I want them coming to my stuff. They had set it up. I think when I did mine, they'd set it up with like a realtor.com, just an open realtor.com search, which to me gave too much away. It had the neighborhood and the phone number for the neighborhood, all that stuff was in the realtor.com page. So you want to make sure you go in and see where you want to go through that automation, Maria, like just step by step, and customize it a little bit, work through that.
Yeah, I would recommend clicking on every option in every automation and look and see what it's doing, what it's sending out on your behalf. Make sure you like it. Make sure you like the verbiage. Say it the way you want to say it. You will actually learn the system impeccably well from an automation standpoint by doing that. And then what I would do is I would set yourself and your spouse or partner, significant other up as leads in the system with their phone number, with their email, and then tell them, you show me everything you receive from me pertaining to this sales funnel. And that's where you're going to really catch the typos and all that. That will allow you to really tweak it and make sure it looks good and the way you want it with your personality.
And here's the value of going in and doing some of this, because now, like, once you get that, it's like you could take and you can clone that or duplicate that workflow and now make another workflow that, it's a whole nother thing for whatever you want to focus on, FSBOs or expireds, or like you can take that and now use that almost as a template for other kinds of leads, for other kinds of ads that you want to run, or there's so many ways you can work it once you learn the system.
And literally, I would go through them one by one, click on everything and watch what it's doing, the timing on when it's doing it, whether you like that or not, whether you want to delay it further, all that. Just get it right for you. And you all have proven my point like 20 times. This is why I do all the videos first, put them all on the playlist. I get everything set up. I set myself up as a lead to test that the links work and all that. And then I turn on the ad. When a client calls you about a property, you don't have an automation set up right now. You can still do the tasks manually that the system is supposed to do, even if it's not yet working. Just watch your funnel on your new leads every day and watch the new lead replied every day, and you'll see, they were supposed to get this. I need to send that to them, and send it to them manually. I mean, you can still work the leads manually. The automation is amazing when you get it set up because it does all the work for you. You don't have to do anything until they reply with a question that you have to answer. And that'll get you 0.1%. If you want to get 1.5 or 2, maybe even 2.5% conversion, then call them immediately when the system whisper dials you to say you've got a new lead. And most of those people don't answer because they're not expecting to get a phone call. We've tweaked our system in that regard too to make sure we don't get any notifications from 9 p.m. to 9:30 a.m. And then we get all the notifications of all the leads that came in through the night are calling us at 9:30 a.m. And that's when we're doing our callbacks. So those are things you're going to need to tweak too, because Attract ROI doesn't know what your sleep schedule is, when you want to get notified about a lead, when you don't, when you want to have the whisper dial hit your phone, because it'll hit it boom, 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 boom. If you got 5 leads overnight, they're all going to hit at whatever time you specified. And that is something you got to set up. And office hours is how we figured that out. I played with it for 2 weeks and couldn't get it. And they went in there and solved it in 2 minutes.
I had the same thing.
And this is why, if you've ever heard me tell the story, when we turned the funnel on 3 years ago for our team in Orange Beach, Alabama, our buyer's agent literally called crying, begging us to turn the damn thing off because she got 153 leads in 2 days. And it was 24/7. She was getting notifications all through the night. I said, turn your phone off. Put your phone on D&D. That's not my problem. That's yours. But I mean, the system can do that.
Yes, it's work getting it set up, and it's, and I can't emphasize enough what Tim said. Go into your automations, into that workflow, and open each one and look at it. And you can change it. If it says, wait 1 minute, that means, a minute later, that next thing is happening. Wait 6 hours, 6 hours later, they're getting the next email. Wait 3 hours, 3 hours later, they're getting the next thing. You want to go in and just think through that a little bit, or let it go and just see if you're getting a bunch of unsubscribes. That's what I did. I had like the first 24 hours, they got like 6 or 7 things. And I think it was just overkill. And so I went through, what's that, Tim?
I printed every step that I received as a prospect, every text message, every email message. I put the date and the time on it. I made notes on it. And then this was my Bible. This is what I then went back into the system and tweaked what I didn't like or I wanted to fine tune, make a little bit better.
So you could he's got wait 6 hours, then they get that playlist. Wait 1 day, and then they get the next thing in the workflow, whether it's the next email or the next text or both. Wait 1 day later, wait 3 days later, kind of stretch it out, just. Because again, like I was having all these unsubscribes at first, and I realized they're just getting bombarded. They clicked on this ad, and oh my goodness, it was just too much for them. So, but you can change all that and adjust all that in the workflow to make it sound like you and to make it how you want to work it.
All you people that are afraid to get in front of the camera, when you go to my YouTube channel and see those videos, they're not perfect by a long shot. Leave the errors, leave the mistakes in there. It makes you human. And if you haven't done a lot of video recording, don't think I got to go all the way back to the beginning and start over again. Just stop after you slipped up, go back to the beginning of that sentence and say it again. You don't have to go back to the very, 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 very beginning. So that'll drive you crazy. It's very easy to snip out that error where you misspoke and just say the right thing and continue on. And if you put your mindset in the fact that, well, I can't edit what I'm saying to my clients when I'm physically showing a buyer property, that's what you're doing. You just correct your misspeak and go on. Don't even edit it out if you don't want to. Depending on how bad the error was, you make that determination. But we tend to leave our misspeaks in there because it makes us human. It doesn't make us look like we were scripted. You're being real.
There's tweaks to be made along the way, but when you get about 300 leads, we know you should have about at least 3 closings. If you had 300 leads and no closings, okay, let's look at things. Something's not working in there the way it needs to.
And Tim, would it be too difficult to add in for those that may not have a sponsor who's utilizing the system that can give it to them for free? Can there something be worked in that if you're having to pay the $400 a month, here's the numbers, how they still play out for those who might have to pay a monthly, to show that it's still worth it, but you may spend X amount, but it's still math?
Oh, yeah. I mean, you could go back to that spreadsheet. Let me go back there.
Subtract out.
If I'm paying $397 a month over that same year, then now my cost is $11,964, but I still made $161,000 because that's the cost, $397 a month. That whole system we just showed you, that's what it costs if you can't get it for free. And some of you on the call have gotten it for free because you've partnered with us at EXP. Those of us that we pay big money every single month to license all of these products, and then we're giving them to you as one of the values that we can add to everything that EXP has. So that's how it works. But yeah, $497 upfront. That does all the setup. Setup takes about a week as long as you do your part. And then beyond that, it's $397 a month, but you can still see, what's that ROI? 12 grand to 160, 13, 14X, I think, something like that. Is that what you wanted, Sean? Does that answer your question?
Absolutely. I always say this. I know I'm not in production. You guys know that. I'm flabbergasted to see this and just know that if I go through the learning curve, it may take me 30, 60, maybe it's 90 days before I really get this system. But oh my gosh, it'd change your entire career. Figure this thing out and you'll be one of the big time producers and you can control the math. And to me, I'm just blown away going, you want to make 200 grand next year? Here's what you do. Just plug in the numbers. And it's truly amazing that something like this exists and that more agents don't take advantage of it.
That's another reason why I say just spend a little bit to start with, learn the system, master the system, and then double, triple, quadruple down on the ad spend. I wouldn't want to be spending $50 a day and me be crying because I got 153 leads in 2 days and I didn't have something set up right now. I got to manually follow up with 153 leads. I would be like my buyer's agent 3 years ago and say, turn the effing thing off. But if you do it this way and you learn, go through the automations and see what your people are getting and tweak what you don't like and make it you. Print everything out like I did. I did that because I want to hang everything on a whiteboard and actually watch the flow and say, okay, this happens and this happens. 60 seconds later, this happens. I want to just feel it as if I were a prospect. That's a great way to do that. Something else to consider too, those of you that are doing attraction, if you're not a licensee of this product, meaning you can give it away to your level 1 people, all you got to do is co-sponsor with one of us that is, and we can give it to them. The co-sponsorship puts them on our level 1 and yours technically. I mean, not literally, because actually it's a level 2 and a level 1, but you get what I'm saying. If we co-sponsor the new recruit that wants this, we can give it to them for free as well. And if there's somebody in your market, you could maybe even get them to make you a user on their system and, send your leads into their system and their leads into their system and split it out, kind of like I'm doing with Tara and Beth. It's a good way to funnel your recruits' leads too that you don't have time for. Send them the leads you don't want to work, don't have time to work, and get a referral fee in addition to the revenue share. Keep them FLQA. Go check out multipleoffers.ai. That's a whole nother system with about 13 iBuyers behind it instead of one. That one costs about $197 a month, I think the math is. You got to pay extra because it's another whole system. But that is a great one to run ads to and just find the sellers that are looking for what their house is worth, but it's a multiple offers, not a singular offer. And I haven't turned this on yet, but when I do, I'm going to make them schedule a time and date in my calendar to receive the offers. I'm not going to let them get them electronically. They're going to make an appointment with me. I'm going to walk into it, sit down at their kitchen table, preview their house, build rapport, and go back and say, all right, now, as you're well know, most of these multiple offers I'm bringing are not going to be full retail price for your home. These are people that want a bit of a deal. They're going to fix it and flip it, or they're going to fix it up and rent it, one of the two. So we're going to look at those because I have a fiduciary obligation to you, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, to present all offers to you. So I'm going to show them to you. Some of them are all cash up front. Some of them are most of your cash now. The rest of your cash when they fix the house up and sell it. You as the agent get paid on both transactions, by the way. And then you can say, and I'm also going to show you what I think I can get your house sold for tonight if we just list it instead of taking one of these offers. You have to make the decision, whatever's best for you. It's a phenomenal listing tool. Imagine this, you call an expired, instead of calling them and say, hey, I saw your house didn't sell, and convince them to let you in, just say, hey, I saw your house for sale. Why did it not sell? Well, I just ran it past my investor. I have 6 offers right now. When can I come see you? And when you go on that appointment, 1 in 10 will take one of the offers. Another 1 or 2 are going to list their home with you that night. The other 8 or 9 are great seller listing prospects for the near future.
Out here on the grind, chasing dreams in the sun, from the Gulf to the hills, yeah, we're getting